That's what's that word? Irrecoverable?
Reconcilable.
No, the other word when you can't reverse.
Irreconcilable.
You can never reverse those things. That soil in New Jersey's gone.
We all took a shot at that.
Yeah. That soil in New Jersey's gone. You know, I remember when they built the Meadowlands. I remember how many animals all of a sudden I had in my living room because they tore all that down, that wildlife. And next thing you know, I remember one night seeing a possum the size of a small pit bull that jumped on a fucking tree. He jumped on a fucking tree. He saw me. It was like a possum, you know, like in Jersey. They walk like a fucking ape, those things. When you call the police in Jersey, I got a possum here, they shoot the fucking thing. They shoot the fucking thing. What does that tell you? They don't shoot snakes. They shoot the fucking possum because they play dead. And then when the cops leave, they fucking get up. And they brush them. You can run over a fucking car with them. I would run home over with bicycles and throw rocks at them. They brush themselves off.
What a weird behavioral trait. They play dead.
They fucking play dead.
Possum. That's where playing possum
Oh,
is,
I
right?
seen a fucking possum that looked at me one night at like 4 a.m. I looked at him. I was like, what the fuck? And he jumped on a tree and it went shh. Like he held onto the tree like a fucking ape in Africa. And I was like, this is fucking mind-boggling.
When I was a kid, you heard about like completely crazy people that were locked in an asylum. But the idea of like your aunt taking pills because she's bipolar, like, what are you talking about?
Because it was accepted and everyone did it. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we used to take Valium and what's that?
I think it's the opposite. I think you just got used to people being fucking crazy. You know, you didn't feel like you had to medicate them. You know, I think people were way more crazy in the 60s and 70s.
I had dude Johnny Reed that tried to kill himself, but he jumped off a building and he landed in a dumpster.
Oh my God.
And he lived.
Oh my God. How bad was he broken?
Fucked up, right? Fucked up. And he threw punches. He threw punches into the air.
No.
Johnny Reed was a trip. He was an Irish. And he got a check from the government. And he gave it to the bartender on the first. That's what people thought. But he lived. Like he banged his head on the dumpster.
Oh my God.
And he fucking over the dog. He lived. And he gave his check from the government on the first to the bartender. And he torment the bartender till that check was done. Then they throw him out to the first. And it would last till about the 18th and 19th. When I was a kid, I used to torment Johnny Reed. He'd go into the, you know, on the East Coast, you lock the bathrooms from the What the fuck you say? You lock the bathrooms from the outside on the East Coast. When you leave a bar at night when they close up,
right?
They lock the bathroom, then they put like a lock ball. So if you break in, they can't. He would go in the bathroom, Johnny Reed, like 11 o'clock in the morning to pee, and we'd lock him in there. We'd leave him in there till like 6 o'clock at night. We'd come back to have a drink. We'd open the bathroom, and he'd come out like nothing. I swear to God, like nothing happened. He was hilarious. I mean, one day I put my dick on a chair next to him. He was sitting on a bar stool. My friend's like, put your dick on the chair. See what happens. And he's like, wow. And he just got up. So Johnny Reed lived like maybe 12 years ago. We used to give him bumps of coke and get him riled up at the bar and he'd just leave. Fuck you motherfuckers. I'll fight all of you. So he'd just fucking leave. Hilarious. Anyway.
Did you ever have a girl you dated kill herself?
No. They should have. After I put that fucking helmet, ratted chlamydia fucking dick in you, you should kill yourself. You should kill yourself the first time, and when you get to your destination. I think when I needed the drugs, it was when my whole body was in pain, and it's not pain that you feel; it's just this pain, and it's
also you did it for so long, your body became accustomed to using those things.
But in the beginning, why is the main reason we get down? Why is the main reason a guy like you handles? You've had pain in your life growing up. We all do. What made you different than not doing it? You know, when you first get involved in that, your body hurts, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. You know, when I was 17, I'd go home at the end of the night. I was in school. I had to go to school at 7:30. Sophomore in high school, junior. I had to go to school. And I would come home and sit in the corner in the dark with earphones on, with an 8-track. Black Sabbath, and I just do coke till 3 a.m.
Jesus Christ!
No drinking, just do coke in the dark. What possesses you to do that, Joe Rogan?
I don't know.
Was it because I was a junkie? No, I was. You know what? I was in so much pain. But pain covers this huge thing when you're doing drugs. Pain could be, fucking confusion. Pain shows up as confusion. Confusion shows up as pain. what I'm saying to you. You're confused.
So
I was 16.
Could be emotional pain.
It could be emotional
It doesn't
pain.
have to be physical
Your
pain.
whole body's in pain when you're doing it. You know, I talked to the kid I kidnapped. You know, I call him a lot now. Wow. I'm guilty. I'm really fucking guilty of that because I saw something when I kidnapped him that it's not Joe Diaz. I saw him suffering. I saw him at one moment on the floor handcuffed. And I would never want that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always dread that happens to a friend of mine for what I did. And I always felt bad. I had him call on the podcast and I apologized to him. Wow. And I always call him up. And I called him the other day and we were talking and he told me, you know, every time I talk to him, he tells me more about his life, bro. You know, what happened since I kidnapped him. I bumped into him in 94. I kidnapped him in 87. I bumped into him in 94 and I bought coke from him. Right? He was all fucked up on Pearl Street down in Boulder. And then he never remembered. I think he blacked out. That's how bad a shape he was in. I asked him, not this time, but the time before, I asked him, do you remember me buying blow from you? He goes, I remember seeing you and I remember hating you the next day. I couldn't believe I didn't knock you the fuck out because I caught him off guard. He was at a bar all fucked up. I'm like, you gotta sell me some blow. He's like, look who's here.
The guy who kidnapped me.
The guy who kidnapped me. But I called him last
bought blow after you kidnapped him and before you apologized for kidnapping him?
6 years later, yeah, I saw him at a bar on Pearl Street.
Did you even say, I'm sorry I kidnapped you?
Not that night. I just gave him a hug and asked him if he knew where I'd get some blow and shit.
Not that night.
And he gave me a hug and I always thought about him. And when I apologized, I felt really bad. And I talked to him the other day and he started telling me he's 50. He lives with his mother. He had a heart attack. You know, I could tell when I talked to him and in his pictures on Facebook that he had a stroke. You know, that was all from the blow, bro. Sometimes when he calls me and I can tell he's drinking, you know. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel real guilty that I do this. But then, you know, I'm the type of guy, I don't play that shit. You know, I don't play that shit at all. He was fucked up when I kidnapped him. I mean, a couple weeks before, you know, how this whole thing started was because he got a DUI, fucked up some cars, went to Boulder Hospital, on North Hospital, Boulder General. Mm. And when he was in there, you know Boulder, he was hurt. They left him in a room by himself and he stole a bottle of liquid cocaine and jumped out the window. Okay, and they caught him an hour later on the other side of Boulder. When you steal a bottle of liquid cocaine from the hospital, you already got problems.
Oh my God.
Me kidnapping him, you know, and we laugh and we giggle. Me kidnapping him, it makes me feel like maybe I contributed to that, but I didn't. He had his own doom. Why didn't I get fucked up, you know? I mean, I got fucked up in different ways. I paid in different ways because the guilt of me doing that to a man fucking destroyed me. You know, I like to fuck around. You know, I could do something bad if somebody harms me. But even with jiu-jitsu, I just can't put my forearm in somebody's face, man. I hate when I have to lay on somebody. Like, I'll check on them and go, you okay, bro? You know I love you right now. They'll look at me and go, I know. You know, it's funny. So, for me, seeing him in that corner, I always have that guilt that I tied him up. Where I grew up in Jersey, the PAL was geared more towards boxing. When I was in New York City, it was a place that they had like a boxing, they had a pool table, they had you know, sodas and shit like that, activities. Mm-hmm. You made like ceramics and shit, depending on your age. In Jersey, it was more Mr. Gamio. Mr. Gamio was a Cuban dude, and he ran the boxing program. And I knew his two sons, Julio and Caesar. They got me a job at Putnam Field, and they were like, "Listen, when you get the job, you gotta rob. Putnam Field is right by Secaucus, off of Route 3. It's dirty. Truck people go in there, dirty, Joe Rogan." I lasted about 3 weeks before they fired me. But I left there, and after 3 weeks, the guy at night was a half a momo. His name was Freddie. Remember I was telling you this? So we robbed him one night. We go, listen, we'll just go down there and beat Freddie up. We were like sophomores in high school. We'll put masks on, me and Didi Quintero. And when he comes out, because in Jersey, you pay the gas guy. You don't go into a store. You know, they pump your gas. So if you rob the guy, you basically rob the joint. Do you follow me? Mm-hmm. Only Oregon and New Jersey is where the people pump your gas. Everybody else, you walk in with a card. So we were kids. We were like, let's rob fucked up Freddie. You know, when I worked there, I got to know Freddie. Freddie's wife looked like Honey Boo Boo's mother. Freddie was a little guy, but Honey Boo, his wife was like 400 pounds. And the only way she would let him fuck her is if he brought blow home. And he was a skinny, tiny guy like Eddie Bravo. She was like 390. And she would actually put the bikini on. And they were such white trash. They lived in a studio apartment. They would rent a jacuzzi and put it in the living room. These people were fucking. They lived on the third floor.
Studio apartment.
Oh my God. And it was the worst building in the neighborhood. And they had Black Marlowe. She was the only black girl in the neighborhood, Black Marlowe. I don't know what Black Marlowe is today, but she's the real Martin Luther King. She was the only black girl in a white neighborhood in Jersey, though. That girl took torture. Wow. She got tortured. I always loved Black Marlowe, though. Marlowe was tight with me. Her mother was white. Something had happened. Her house was fucked up. That building was fucked up. So I used to go over there to sell them blow. And I remember Freddie opening up the door one day with like a robe on. And here's this fat wife in the room with heels with a bikini on. And he's like, thank you for bringing it to me. And I was like, he really was, like when you brought him the blow, he was fucking thankful that you fucking like, thank you, man. I'm gonna get some pussy tonight. Like she would not give me my hand job if he didn't have blow. So finally, one day, me and Didi Quintero, we decided, let's go down there and rob this motherfucker on a Saturday night. Let's wait till about midnight when he's got $1,000 on him. Because you don't drop till you get 2,000. So every 2,000 you make a drop in the floor safe, and you can't get back in there. So me and Didi went behind the building by Seacock, and it was right next to this hot dog place, Snappy Nappies. The rumor was that's where the Iceman killed somebody and put him in a tank by Snappy Nappies. No, this is a real fucking area, Jersey. This is, and across the street was one of the biggest strip clubs on the East Coast. Not when I was there, robbing Freddie. A couple of years after that, like the Army base. So you remember, if you lived in New York, they called this the Air Force base, some base or some shit. But when we were kids, we went there like at 12, and we took Freddie down, dog. We just tackled him and started like kicking him like they kicked whatever his name is in that De Niro movie in the bar. Mm-hmm. And we took his little purse and we ran away. And he guessed it. Like, it took him a week. He's like, did you guys rob me last night? Because we had masks on and shit. We're like, Freddie, it wasn't us. He's like, yes, it was. I heard your voices. Then he came back to us. He's like, listen, I'll let you rob me once a month. But you got to split the money with me so I can buy an 8-ball to fuck my wife. So once a month, we go down there and give Steady Freddie a beating. And we kick the fuck out of him. Just on principle.
And he let you do it? Just
yeah, he wanted to. That's the only way the cops, that's the only way the cops. And we did it like 8 times.
So like, did you give him black eyes, bloody noses?
Kicked him in the stomach a couple of times. That was it. We need him, neon belly. I didn't even know what it was.
There was no video back then either.
No. Not
so you had to leave marks on him.
Yeah, you had to like kick him a few times. I couldn't do it. I had too much of a heart, so I always had to hire. Like I had to bring like one of my crazy friends that was having like a bad week. There's a kid in Miami today that every time I play South Florida, he shows up with his girlfriend and he gets fucked up and he tells the story when I knocked on his door with a diagram on how we were going to rob Freddie. And he goes, that's when I knew that you were fucking for real. He goes, I was eating dinner with my family. You knocked on the door and had a sketch, like the deal, how you were going to kick him and run into the weeds and go right to the coke dealer's house. Like I had it planned. We had done it so many times, but I had to keep getting different partners because I couldn't hit Freddie. All I could do was tackle him. I was good at tackling him, and then once he go down, I had my friend kick him a few times. It was fucking horrible, but when you're 16, Joe, what the fuck, dog? You gotta have a good time, you know? You gotta have a good time. You're not gonna kick Steady Freddie. Who are you gonna kick?
Jesus Christ. Will bother you?